31 is a movie directed by Rob Zombie. Now, I've enjoyed a good portion, if not all, of the Rob Zombie movies I've seen. Shockingly enough, I have not seen Devil's Rejects or House of a Thousand Corpses, which those are the two that kind of play him on the map as a director. But I've always felt that Rob Zombie has a very visual and good style. I felt that he has a good talent and a good knack for directing. So I was very excited to watch 31, which came out a couple years ago, and I know that he's working on another sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. So this sort of put me in the mindset of I'm going to try to, well, I'm not going to try, I'm going to watch all of the Rob Zombie movies, and then of course review the new Devil's Rejects or whatever it's called. I haven't heard if it even has a title yet. But I'm glad that he's continued to direct. I know after Lords of Salem, he had talked about maybe not doing one anymore, and maybe having that be the very last one because the two Halloween movies were kind of just exhausting. And I'm glad that he's continued to go on. So let's talk about 31. Is it a worthwhile addition to the Rob Zombie stuff? Is it a worthwhile horror movie? Is it apparent that Rob Zombie is running out of steam? Well, the premise of the film is pretty simple. It's about these 40-something-year-olds that are on a road trip, and they get captured by these clowns that basically are participants in this gauntlet that is called, the game itself is called 31, which is based after Halloween. It's all themed around Halloween, and basically they have 12 hours to survive this gauntlet where these killer clowns are out to get them. And as they go through each set of clowns, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And these friends, these friends are, they start off as the typical Rob Zombie characters. Like, I noticed this in Halloween where they're kind of rambunctious and very, very immature, and I was just like rolling my eyes during the first 20 or 30 minutes of this film. It's like, they're just partiers because, partiers in real life annoy me, and they annoy me in movies too. However, it's odd. As the film goes on, they become more and more likable, and you feel kind of sorry for them when they start dying off. It's not one of those cases like, well, that guy was a dick. I'm glad he's gone. I would have felt that way earlier in the film, but the film sort of takes its time in killing characters off. It's not like it's one after one. And the cast is good. I think that Sheri Moon Zombie is a great actress. I've really liked her in some of Rob Zombie's earlier stuff. Her character in this movie isn't quite as likable as some of her other roles. It's a bit more. I could tell she had a bit more fun with this one, because she's just sort of a party girl, but she becomes more likable as the film goes on, much like the other characters. And another thing that I love about Rob Zombie's movies is that he brings in these great character actors, especially in this movie. Malcolm McDowell, who is it doesn't explain if he's the owner of the 31 game or if he's just sort of like the announcer type. He doesn't play like a clown or anything. He's just sort of the guy that runs everything and that handles all the bets. Meg Foster is in it, and gosh, she's still got those eyes. She's got those eyes that just pull you right in. I mean, if you remember her from Masters of the Universe or They Live, she's a very, very good actress. She's got this presence, and I love that Rob Zombie has put her in a lot of his films because she's phenomenal. She's like the female version of almost Clint Eastwood, where she's got that presence where there isn't a whole lot of actresses or actors that can pull you in like that just by looking at you through the screen. And Rob Zombie realizes that because there's ways that he shoots her that utilizes her eyes, and her eyes are almost her most powerful acting weapon. And My favorite character in the film is Richard Brake, who plays Death Head. Now there are a lot of clowns in this movie, and my gripe with this movie, one of the gripes that I have with this movie is it's not very scary. It's a lot of fun. It's fun. It's gory, but there's not a whole lot of scares in it. However, when Richard Brake's Death Head is on the screen, he is terrifying. He absolutely owns this role, and I would love to see more of this character. I would love to see him appear in other movies. I don't want to see another 31 movie where it's just, more characters in the gauntlet, unless you can find a way to do it maybe, I don't know, bigger, or to do it in a way where it's set up in a town or an abandoned city. But his character, Death Head, is, I believe, he's the first face to appear on film, and it's a close-up like this, and the first 5 minutes is just him having this monologue about how he's not a clown, he's not here to make you smile, and basically his whole speech is to the players of the 31 game of the previous year. And I love that the movie is in black and white during this part. I almost wish that the movie was in black and white the entire time. However, there's a lot of really good visuals that might have been missed out on in lighting and colors. But I would love to see Rob Zombie do a full-on black and white film. But getting back to that point, Richard Brake is very good in this role. It almost feels like he did the face paint himself, and he very much got into this character. It wasn't like, here's an actor playing this character. This is a character on screen that you don't want to mess with, and he's so different from the other clowns. And when he comes in later into the game, because they sort of call him once they realize that they're going to need to start bringing out the big guns, and these other clowns aren't getting it done. He's sort of like Elvis, where he's got the glasses, and he's got a jacket, and he's smooth at first, because he comes in and he's got this swagger about him. He's almost got a charisma about him, and he just walks in like he owns the place. And then he starts putting on his makeup, and he even beats himself a little bit, sort of getting to the mindset. He goes, I'm not crazy, I'm in control. And that's a great scene. That's why I love the final act is very good, because he just steals the show. And I would almost say that I wish he was in more of it. However, I think it's one of those things where less is more, so having him on the screen less makes his performance more memorable. And he doesn't mess around. He's not a character you're going to survive having a confrontation with. It's like when somebody decides, I'm going to hold this guy off so the others can get away. It's not like, he might get away. It's pretty much when it's pretty much like the last act of Predator, where each soldier sort of starts facing off with that alien, and it's not like, they're going to survive. It's like, they're going to buy everybody else about 10 seconds, and that's about it. So Rob Zombie's 31. It's visually striking. The script isn't great. There's some moments where, like I said, the characters aren't extremely likable, and they can get annoying. But I mean, if you're really into Rob Zombie's films, you're going to like 31. And if you're a horror fan, I would recommend checking it out. And if you're just a visual style fan, I think you can enjoy it in that aspect. I mean, the things about the script and the gore are going to maybe bother you if you're not into that sort of stuff. But I think I would imagine it's more tame than Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses, because I've heard those movies can be pretty hardcore, and that Zombie is almost mellowed out in his past few movies. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of gore in here, but it's not just like in your face everywhere. So, Rob Zombie's 31. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? What's your favorite Rob Zombie movie? Are you excited for the third House of a Thousand Corpses movie? Comment. Let me comment below, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe and check out my books. Bye.